Hey everyone, my name is Janelle Summers and this is the Team Hardcore Training Call. Today is February 9th. So we're into February and people are on their team cups. I'm on a team cup. It's been so much fun. I hope you guys are killing it. And this call comes at such a good time, this topic, all about the art of the ask. If you are not, like, I don't care if your social media content is killer and you look killer, you are killer, whatever. If you are not doing this and you are not mastering this, you're going to struggle, and you need to be doing it every single day. So this is such a good call and such good timing, whether you're a brand new coach or you're a veteran seasoned coach. Okay, so I've got the speaker I wanted to have to talk about this topic. She's amazing. Some of you who have been coaches for a while, you may have heard her training before. She just really knows her stuff. And so I'm very excited to bring to you Andrea Crowder. Let me introduce her stats and everything real quick here. First of all, of course, she's a mom and wife first and foremost. She's an 11-star diamond in her first CBC. She's a 9-star diamond in her second CBC. So I don't know about you, but I'm thinking she's going to be 15-star in 2 CBCs before we know it. She's a 3-time elite coach. And of course, she's a Success Club legend. So with that, Andrea, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. And I just want to apologize to everyone for being in my closet. But that's what I have to do because I've got construction going on. And here we go. You are there.
She just wants to make us jealous with her color coordinated shoe situation going on.
They're all lined up before I went live. I'm like, that's really going to distract the perfectionist if everything's like out of order.
That's so true. Yes, I'm jealous. I cannot wait to move so that I can organize my closet like yours. All right. So I feel like this is kind of perfect timing. I know it's perfect timing because I actually just had one of my newer coaches message me this morning, and she said, Andrea, help, like I'm talking to people, like she's really doing the work of like getting herself out there, and she's having a hard time getting people from a conversation to actual enrollment into the business. And I was like, well, perfect timing, because in about 67 minutes, I'm going to do a training on this topic. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys.
Cool.
And can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. Okay. So I kind of like shifted the name of, you guys are probably, if you've been a coach for a while, you may have seen a training that I've done called Closing with Class. And I think Janelle and I both, after hearing Carl's wake up call this week, we're like, oh my gosh, she's so right. Like, it's not about the close, because the close is really just the open of the relationship. That's where the relationship really begins. So we don't want you guys to think about when someone signs up that that's when the close is that's really when the relationship becomes something that's going to be a long-lasting relationship that you want to nurture. But the relationship and building trust with people starts in the beginning. And I think it's kind of perfect timing again that I'm doing this call, because just last night on a Zoom, one of the girls that I was working with was sharing this story about how she has been talking to a bunch of people, and she was really excited about this person that she was having a conversation with, just sharing her passion and, you know, making a strong recommendation of her product. And the girl responded to her and she said, perfect, I'm going to go find so-and-so and I'm going to go sign up. And the girl was actually, the coach that I was talking to was like, how dare she? She's not going to sign up with me. She's going to, like, I just sat there and helped her. Like, the interesting thing is that there's a couple of issues when we're having trouble enrolling new coaches or new customers. One of the problems is either we're giving them too much information and we're kind of verbally vomiting all over them and we kind of push them away, or people don't actually know that they can do business with us. So if you guys are one of those people, I just want you to like nod to yourself right now. Am I one of those people where I'm either giving them too much information, and that's okay because you're excited, right? That's what I did in the beginning. I mean, I said all the wrong things to the right people, and I still was able to move my business forward. But slowly, once I started learning this process, it was a much faster process of the number of people that I was able to help. But it started with, number one, Craig Holiday said this on a training that he did last night. So I had to pop that quote in here. And he said, people that are moved move product. So when you're having a conversation with people, and maybe your conversation is like, I saw your picture of your shoe closet. Where'd you get all those Nikes? Like, you know, I might ask Janelle if I saw, you know, a picture on Facebook of her, and, you know, just started a conversation that maybe isn't necessarily directly related to a challenge group. But that's where I think some people get stuck. You guys are sending out those hey girl messages or just starting conversations with people. And then I get this question all the time, like, how do I move this conversation from a conversation about our kids to a conversation about health and fitness? And here's where I don't really see that problem happen in my business. And it's because I am so passionate about, number one, the products, and number two, the business opportunity. I believe our products work for people. I believe that these products will change their life because I've seen it in myself and I've seen it in other people. I also believe this opportunity will change their life because I've seen it in myself and I've seen it in other people. So if you guys want to move product, you have to be moved by it first. Like, I believe in it with my heart, mind, and soul. Every fiber of my being, you know, eats, breathes, and sleeps Beachbody, and how much that it can truly change a person's life. So if someone says to me, you know, like, you know, I'm just so tired, you know, I'm taking care of 3 kids, all of them, you know, none of them are in preschool yet. I'm like, that's right there. I'm like, this person's tired. Welcome to the rest of the world, right? Like, we're all freaking tired. But what have I done to help me with, you know, any of my fatigue issues? That's an opportunity for me to start a conversation with someone and just share my story and say, you know what, I totally understand how you feel. Like, I used to feel that way too. But what I found was, and I'll teach you more about the found method a little bit later. But I want to take you guys through a process really quickly. And this is going to be something that if you guys did this for 90 seconds every day, you guys are going to have no problem talking to people, and you're going to have no problem making a really strong recommendation for them. So what I want you to do is, number one, first of all, think about, what do you want? Like, why do you sign up for this business? I mean, maybe you know that, maybe you don't. Maybe right now, like, you just want to make your money back and that's all you want. That's fine. But then I want you to ask yourself the question of, are there any reasons that you can't have it? So I did this last night with one of the girls that I was working with on a Zoom, and she had mentioned that she was afraid, you know, that people would look at her as someone who's just interested in the money. And I said, well, is that true? Are you just interested in the money? And she said, no, of course not. And I said, well, that's a reason why you're going to stop yourself from even having the conversation in the first place. You won't even make the ask if you think you can't have it or don't deserve it. So I want you guys to think about that. Like, just for a second, are there any reasons you feel like you can't or shouldn't have whatever it is that you want, whatever you want to get out of this business? And then I want you to ask yourself, are those reasons true? So her excuse was like, well, I don't want people to think I'm in it for the money. My next question was, is that true? Are you in it for the money? No. But her excuse was, and her belief was that, you know, if people have too much money, that's bad. So then we kind of just dug into that. And I asked her, like, well, can you find any other evidence in your life where people have had money and they're great people? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, are there any reasons that that can't be true for you? No. Right? So this is just some simple questions that you guys can ask yourself before you even start your business. What do you want? What are the reasons you can't have it? And are they true? Most of the time, 99% of the time, those reasons are not true, right? So then you can just ask yourself these questions really quickly. And this is where I want you to feel the answer to your questions just for 90 seconds. How will it help you if you have these things, whatever it is that you want? Maybe your goal is like, I want to make $1,000. Maybe your goal is I want to be a 15-star diamond. I want to be a millionaire. Like, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me. Maybe it's just like make your, you know, pay for your Shakeology every month. How will it help you? How will it help your family? How will it help your community? And how will it help the world? When you can put yourself into this like mental mindset of like, how can this serve other people, not just myself? And it's okay to want to serve yourself. You have to take care of yourself too. But you taking care of yourself benefits your family. Like, moms especially know, like, we're preaching to the choir when we know that we tend to take care of everyone way better than we take care of ourselves. That's like kind of the foundation and the brand of my business is my Me First Movement Challenge is talking about like putting that oxygen mask on for yourself first so that you can be better for your family, you can be better for your community, and you can be better for the world. How will that help them? So if you kind of mentally take yourself through that process, and maybe it's simply like, I just want to get my Shakeology paid for so that I can have more energy. When you know that it's going to help you, that's also going to help your family. And by you setting that example, that can teach other people to do the same process. So that's how it benefits the world of simply you just getting your Shakeology paid for every month. You have this sense of passion and authority to make a strong recommendation to another mom that also is going through the same struggle that you're going through. So when you make the ask, it's not about that Success Club point or that 25% commission, right? Now it's about how's she gonna, show up, and how's that gonna translate for her family in the world. You can visualize that for 90 seconds, and if you just feel it, like really feel it, all of a sudden you start to feel passion for your business. You start to feel excitement and anticipation for what this person's life could look like, because you're doing that for yourself. So 2 days ago, I was talking to a girl who's been following up with me for maybe 3 weeks and saying like, I really want this, yada, yada. Like she's just in this really bad place. She put on a tremendous amount of weight after she had lost it. She's coming back to me, and her first words were, Andrea, I got fat and I don't know what to do about it, and I need your help. And it was this plea for help of like burnout, of lack of confidence, and how that was translating for her in her life. I now have this sense of urgency to help her connect her with the solution, not because I need those Success Club points, not because I need that commission, but because she urgently needs my help. And so she actually hasn't signed up yet. And one of my messages to her today is going to be a follow-up message and say, girl, you need to do this. And I know you're not doing this because you're scared. I bet you're afraid that it's not going to work for you, or maybe you're going to fall back into bad habits. But I just want to let you know that this time you got me on your side, and I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to make sure that you show up for you. Are you willing to show up for you? And then I'm going to remind her, but if for any reason this isn't what you want, we have that 30-day refund policy. But I'm going to say to her with so much passion and confidence and make such a strong recommendation that she basically get over herself and her fear and just jump, that, hopefully she's going to say yes. But I'm not doing it because I need Success Club points, and I'm not doing it because I need a commission. I'm doing it because I know what she's going through, because I was that girl, right? So if you know, how is it going to help you? How is it going to help your family? How is it going to help the community? And how is it going to help the world? And you feel that for 90 seconds every day before you start your power hour. 90 seconds, guys. I'm not asking for a lot. You guys will start your business with excitement, anticipation for how you're going to help yourself and other people, and then an interesting sense of authority to make strong recommendations to help people. And you will not have those moments of like, I don't know how to ask the question, because you're going to feel so compelled and so feel this sense of urgency to make that ask, because you cannot stand sitting there watching them for another second feel frustrated and stressed and that lack of energy, whatever it is that this person is sharing with you. Okay. So this is a really, really good place to start. If you believe in these products and you know they work because they work for you and you've seen them work for other people, you guys will make that recommendation. Okay. So I'm going to take you guys through my process of how I talk to people. Now, the first thing is that, especially when we start to think about, okay, well, we want to go invite people, it's really tempting to send them a message, and the entire message is blah, 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 blah. You're going to tell them everything you're going to know that you know about Beachbody and Shakeology and how excited you are, and all the 70-something ingredients in Shakeology and the probiotics that they're going to get and how it's going to help them be able to go to the bathroom regularly, or whatever. I hope that you don't actually say that, but the point is that when we're excited and we're passionate about something, we feel very tempted to share all the things with people. And what happens is when you give people too much information, they stall and they freeze and they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? But if you simply start conversations with a question, hey, how are you? Hey, I noticed that, you were at your daughter's in gymnastics now. How's that going? And then just simply start asking them what's going on in their life. And when you find an opening or an opportunity, when someone says, like, if they share one struggle or frustration, there's always a way to connect that back to their vitality. Or maybe they're unhappy in their career, or they don't have a career. Maybe they're a stay-at-home mom and they're just looking for that opportunity. But it really just starts with an interview process. It's peeling back the layers to get to know someone. If you only ask one question, you have only peeled back one layer. Now, there's great ways to jump into the process of talking specifically about health and fitness. For example, if you've had the courage to go out there and post your own results on Facebook, number one, bravo to you. That does take a lot of courage. So congratulations for doing that. It gets easier and eventually becomes addicting because you see how many lives that it changes just by you being courageous. But if you post that and then someone comments on your post, you can simply send them a message and say, thank you so much for the support on that last post. It took a lot of courage for me to post. And I know it only took you a few seconds to make that comment or click the like button, but I really appreciate it. Do you have any goals that you're working on right now? So you can really just bring that conversation right into health and fitness. Like, is there anything I can support you on? You can invite them to a free group. You can invite them into a paid challenge, but it's just opening the conversation and putting the attention on them. Thank you so much for your support. Is there anything that I can do to support you back? And maybe that results into a conversation about a challenge group, and maybe it doesn't right away. And that's okay. It doesn't have to go into that conversation right away. But the point is that you're asking questions, and that's where the interview process begins, getting to know people. So there's a few acronyms that you guys can write down that will make this interview process easy for you to come up with questions. In the beginning, you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to ask. But if you guys write these down, this will help you figure out what questions to ask. So FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, and message. So what's going on with their family life? Like, what are their kids up to? Like, are they pregnant? Did they just have a baby? What are they doing for a living? Are they, being a stay-at-home mom? Are they working and trying to take care of a family at the same time? What do they like to do for fun? Where are they going on vacation? Maybe they haven't planned a vacation in 5 years. After you've had those conversations and got to know them there, then that's the message. And this is what I see happen is people will do the family, occupation, recreation, and then they skip the message. And they're just hoping that that person is gonna ask them for the message. Otherwise, they have 30-day conversations with people and they're like, well, it never led to anything. And I'm like, actually, I think you just got scared. And you guys can just shake your head right now and say, like, yeah, I was just a little scared. Like, maybe you're afraid that they were gonna I think that you are only in it for the money, but then you can go back to that same process that I just took you to before of creating that sense of urgency of, if this is a mom that's blatantly telling you that she's having a hard time juggling it all and she's lost her energy and she hasn't had a pedicure in a year, like, this is a sense of urgency for you to say, I gotta help this sister, right? You have to give that message. You have to make the ask. You have an obligation because you have a solution for them. This isn't about you. It's not about your commission and it's not about your points. This is about you having an obligation to just share something that works for you with them, and it doesn't matter if they say yes or no. So you guys have to give the message. SIGN stands for strengths, interests, goals, and needs. So this is just another way, especially when it comes to the coaching opportunity. I love to figure out what people's strengths are. Like, if someone's a nurse and, they're sharing with me how they're just overworked and they're tired of, spending Thanksgiving and Christmas working. They haven't, spent a holiday home with their family in years. But I know that they're a nurse. I know their strengths are asking people questions to diagnose them, right? That's what a nurse does. Or maybe not make the diagnosis, but they're starting to ask questions to figure out, like, where could the root of this problem be coming from to help that patient. They can use that same exact skill in coaching, right? It's the same thing. We're asking questions to figure out where's the root of the problem and what can I do to make a recommendation to be able to alleviate that problem. So I can go back to that nurse and say, oh my gosh, you're going to be so good at this because of XYZ. That builds confidence because you just took a strength that they already have and you related it back to this business. What are their interests? You know, like maybe someone is interested and they have a background in marketing and they're not using their degree. Maybe their goal was to be able to go on one family vacation a year and they haven't ever, you know, accomplished one of those goals. And then what are their needs? And then you take those needs and you relate them back to the business. So what you guys can do when you start to ask people questions is get them on a yes roll. So if you guys are, you know, asking, you know, simple questions like, are you working out? Yes, you know, that's a yes or no question. Eventually you want to start asking questions that they're going to say yes to, because as you get closer to making that final recommendation, if they're already in the habit of saying yes, they're going to be excited and feel very compelled to say yes, because you've already connected their strengths, interests, goals, and needs to this opportunity, whether it's the challenge group opportunity or the coaching opportunity. Express empathy. So I love these little like images. This is like a great coach asks great questions and then really listens. Now what I see kind of in the beginning, and this is purely just because like this is new for you, as soon as you ask a question, you go straight back into your own head and you're like, oh my gosh, what's the next question going to be? And you spend all your time in your head thinking about your next question because you're trying to be strategic with like how you ask questions and you start to overthink it. But if you can express empathy and stay present, really present with someone when they're sharing what they have going on in their life, they're going to feel heard and they're going to feel your empathy. They're going to know, like when I talk to people, they know, like, even if they're not ready to do business with me right now, and sometimes people tell me no, and that's fine. Like, I just don't even care. Like, a yes or a no doesn't, if you say yes to me, awesome. If you say no to me, awesome. I don't care either way. I'm completely detached from the outcome. But I'm going to find some way to give you, I'm going to connect you with something that's going to help alleviate some of your problems. But if all I do for you in this time that we spend together is just express empathy and listen to you, sometimes people haven't had someone just truly listen to them in a really long time. So I want you guys to think about being a good listener and continuing to ask questions. And if you guys are really, really present with people and you're not all up in your head worried about the next question, the question will intuitively come to you, because it's the same way as like you're having a conversation with someone. When we have a conversation when we're in business, now all of a sudden we're worried about those numbers, right? But if you take your business hat off and you just put your person, your human hat on, and you have that conversation with, you know, them human to human, the question will intuitively come to you because you'll just want to know like more about them. You want to know like, where does this pain come from? And the more that you dig and you peel those layers back, the more you realize what the root of their pain is coming from. And then you can make that strong recommendation. The other thing that you guys can do is you can start to build trust. Now, remember, I said you have to be a really good listener, but there's every once in a while, there's an opportunity just for you to build a connection point. So when I say build a bridge, I mean, if someone shares with you and they say, you know, I am working, you know, 60 hours a week and I'm barely, you know, making my, being able to pay my bills. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I can just build a quick bridge with them. This isn't the opportunity for me to take over the conversation and be like, oh my God, I know I was $100,000 in debt, blah, 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 and tell them my whole story. But I am going to give them a little piece of my story just to build that bridge. I'm going to say, girl, I feel you. I've been there. You know, when I started my business, I was $100,000 in debt, and it was just humiliating living paycheck to paycheck when I'd worked so hard for that career. I know where you're coming from. And then I'm going to ask another question. I'm going to build that connection point to tell them I understand, because that builds trust. And then I'm going to bring it back to them. So that's what building a bridge means. And then if someone shares a story with you about, you know, a pain point of what they're going through, or maybe a goal with you, you can use a story to relate back to them. So let's say, for example, I'm talking to someone about the coaching opportunity and they say like, you know, an extra $500 a month would change your life, just to be able to like make an extra payment on a car payment. Oh my gosh. Like, then I can say like, yeah, girl, an extra $200 a month when I started my business, but it changed my life. And then I'm going to send them a screenshot and be like, girl, like one of my coaches, Bree, just made, you know, $433 this week. And I'm going to send her that screenshot. of Bree saying, holy crap, I made $433 this week. And that creates social proof. So if I keep screenshots of other people's successes, you guys can just keep it in a folder on your laptop, or you can keep a little album on your phone so that you guys can easily share it. Like Google Drive is a perfect place. I pretty much store the majority of my files in Google Drive or Dropbox so that I can easily share resources anytime I need to. Now, if it's a challenger or a potential challenger that I'm talking to, and they're having trouble with the scale, for example, and the scale just doesn't seem to be budging, I can send them this quick screenshot of another challenger and be like, oh my gosh, I know exactly where you're coming from. But sometimes it's not about the scale. Sometimes it's about that measurement tool. Check out my homegirl so-and-so who, was trying to measure her success on the scale. She didn't lose any weight, but she lost 6 inches. Would you be willing to start measuring by inches versus the scale as well? So I'm turning it back and I'm asking a question, right? I send the screenshot to show her this other person posted this. This is their social proof, not me just coming up with this story. Screenshots of other people's success are really powerful. I do recommend that especially if it has to do with like weight loss and you're pulling that information from one of your challenge groups, if you don't have permission to share other people's stories publicly, just take their name out. If I'm going to share that in private message, but someone hasn't already given me permission, then I'm going to make sure their name is either crossed off or I screenshot it out. Saying someone's name is the sweetest sound that they will ever hear. It's the one thing that we've heard consistently since birth, right? So when you're having a conversation and you refer back to them and you say, like you use their name and you say, look, Jennifer, I really appreciate you just sharing your story here with me. I know that sometimes it's hard, especially when you're sharing it with a stranger. I totally understand where you're coming from. Just toss their name in there once in a while. Don't overuse it, but just repeat back to them what you've been hearing from them. Say their name and they feel like, man, this person really cares about me. They're not just in it to make a quick buck. I know that I can trust them. So this is a time where you're going to make that strong recommendation. You've peeled back those layers, their sign, their strengths, interests, goals, and needs. You can make a strong recommendation of what's going to help them fulfill those needs. You can relate it back to their strengths, their desires that they've already shared with you. And this is where I just want you to assume yes. You guys can use assumptive language like when you sign up with me instead of if you sign up with me. When you use assumptive language, you're just building your own confidence of like, of course people want to sign up with me. Of course people want this. Like, you've already told me how much you need. I have your solution to your problem right here. I got you, girl. I got you covered. You use that assumptive language of not if, but when, and it just shows that you're confident in what you're offering to them. You are the leader of this. You're the person asking the questions, giving the information, and you're going to be the one saying, hey, I have X number of spots, and you're going to allow them to have a spot with you, right? When you go to give price, don't squirm. Now, if you know yourself and you know that you will, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas to help with that in just a second. But the last thing is be sincere. And I know you guys, we don't really attract very many people into the Beachbody community that are just trying to climb ranks and trying to just make, a ton of money without the intention of truly helping. We have a very rad community of people that, yes, they want to make money and they want to have an awesome life, but they want to do it in the process. They want to make money on a difference at the same time, right? We tend to just attract people like that. So use this opportunity to just show that sincerity at the end of I'm here for you. And again, I don't care whether they say yes or no. It's going to help them if they say yes. And I feel sad for them if they say no, but I don't feel sad for me because I know that I control how many people. I'm still going to hit my goals. The success in my business will never depend on one person. So, but if you're afraid that they're going to say no, you're putting the power of your future in one person's hands. And that's not fair to do to them, and it's not fair to do to yourself. So just be sincere. Don't care whether they say yes or no, right? Don't argue with people. If you get an objection from someone, this is not the time. If they're like, I already have a protein shake, right? I went to GNC and I paid $30 for a protein shake. I don't need that shake stuff. This is not the time for you to argue. Because I had one person try to sign me up into her I won't say what business that was because that's not my style. But she started arguing with me when I was like, this really just isn't something that I would ever do. I'm very happy with Beachbody. Like, I don't really believe in the message that these products send. This isn't the right opportunity for me. And she tried to argue me into her business. And I was just like, ready to get on the phone and like do this training for her. Like, you're never going to argue someone's way into your business, right? So you going back and being like, well, it's not a protein shake, of course it's not, blah blah, like, right? You use the feel, felt, found method. You can either tell them how you felt or how someone else felt. So like maybe someone says like, Shakeology is too expensive. Girl, I totally understand how you feel. I felt that way too. When I started drinking Shakeology, we were on $100,000 worth of debt. But what I found is that when I looked at Shakeology per meal, I was actually really already paying that anyway. Do you mind if I just share this video with you? And you can share I love the Tony Horton Shakeology video where he shows like all the ingredients. And if you bought them all separately, it would be like $800 bajillion or something like that. It's a really funny video. And I just asked them, like, do you mind if I share this resource? And then if they still say no, I don't care. I'm happy if they say yes. I'm happy if they say no. I don't care. Like, I'm sad for them, but I'm never sad for me, right? It's not about you. It's okay to have personal goals. It's important to have personal goals like hitting Success Club. But when you're having a one-on-one conversation, you cannot put those goals on their shoulders. They will feel it and they will run. So don't be disappointed with a no, because if you guys are lifers, I hope you are, because if you're spending Thursday morning with me, I hope you're a lifer. You'll remember that no doesn't always mean no, it just means not right now. So when it is the right time for them, and if you still show up and maintain consistent in your business, and you show up on social media and you continue to build trust, because they're going to keep watching you. If they sign up with you today, great. But if they don't, they're going to keep watching you. They're going to see if you really mean it when you say you're in it for the long haul. And when they are ready, they're going to come back to you. I've had people come back to me 3 years later. I've been doing this long enough to have a 3-year follow-up, right? I've been doing this for almost 5.5 years. Eventually, those no's will turn into yeses as long as you remain consistent. And what I like to do is if someone's not ready right then, I say, hey, I totally understand you can't spend the money right now, but would you like me to put you on my VIP list for next month? I'll put you ahead of the line. And most people, and then I'll say, like, that gives you 30 days to plan for this. And then I'll help them create, like, if you just took, $50 out of, each weekly paycheck, or $100 out of each bi-weekly or bi-monthly paycheck, you'll be ready for next month, no problem, right? And most people say yes. I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me no. I have had people where I did follow up with them the next month and they still weren't ready, and that was okay. I'm like, hey, no problem. I'll follow up with you in another 30 days. Is that okay? I just set the follow-up at that time. But I don't care if they say yes or no, because 3 years later, eventually I'm probably going to get a yes, right? I've never taken anybody's name off my list. It's not about me. It's about them. When it's their timing, I'll be here for them. It is not about my timing to get them into my business. Remember, if you're doing the work and you remember, I have control over my actions and my reactions only, you guys know you have control over how you react to a no. One person is going to react to a no and they're going to think, poor me, I'm not good enough. That person told me no, everyone else will too. And then they'll probably go to their sponsor and they'll say, everybody told me no. Everybody meaning the 2 people they talked to, right? But the other person who understands I only have control over my actions and my reactions, so their reaction is going to be like, well, that person told me no, that's okay, I'll just go talk to one more person. And they'll keep talking to one more person until they hit Success Club. They'll say, I'm going to go find the people that are ready now. Those are 2 very different mindsets. One of them will succeed, one of them will not. You can always shift that mindset in a second. You have control over that. But detach yourself from the outcome. It's not about you, it's about them, right? And this is the most powerful thing that we have, and not enough coaches use it. I feel like Carl drives it home every opportunity that he gets on a national wake-up call or stands on a summit stage. And as soon as I started using this with a tremendous amount of authority and belief, that 30-day, I changed the wording and I call it my 30-day love it or leave it policy. You guys can steal that. I don't care. But I tell people, if they're like squirming and they're like, I don't know, that's a lot of money, whatever. I just tell them, look, girl, try this for 30 days. If you are not overwhelmingly thrilled with how you feel and your results, I want you to send it back and get a full refund. The only thing that you have to lose is maybe a few pounds, right? So I can confidently say our products are going to work for you, but if for any reason you are not satisfied, that you do not love it as much as I believe you're going to love it, get your money back, right? And then I love to share that. In fact, I included it in a video that I'm going to share with you guys. I loved Carl's analogy or comparison that he did the other day on a wake-up call, where he talked about if you went in and you bought a juice at a juice bar for 30 days, and you went in there every single day, ordered the same juice, and the people said, like, you're going to have more energy, you're going to have more mental clarity, here's all the benefits. And at the end of the 30 days, you go back in there and you're going to say, hey, I don't feel any different. Can you give me a refund? They're going to look at you like you're crazy, right? A juice bar would never do that. But we will. So I can tell them, like, look, dude, you can go buy that stuff that you like from Costco, but if it doesn't help you in 30 days, is Costco going to give you your money back? Because we will, right? You can use that 30-day love it or leave it policy and say, dude, if you do not love this, and I don't mean just like, but if you do not love this, send it back, girl. I'll help you find something else that will work for you. Or send it back, dude. I always say girl just because that's my ideal customer. I mostly work with women, but just use that love it or leave it policy or the 30-day refund policy with a tremendous amount of belief and authority, right? Okay, keep it simple. Again, when you're giving them information, especially at the end, if you give them too much information, the objection that you're gonna get from them is, I have to think about it, because you gave them too much information to think about. So what I like to do is I like to share the details briefly, tell them that there's limited availability, and then I make them earn a spot. Meaning if I say, I'm only working with 10 people, 2 spots are already gone, and then I give them my registration dates. I don't allow people to come to me 30 days, throughout the month and, sign up for 30 days. I have an open registration date for a challenge, and I have a closing registration date for a challenge. That way that I can start my challenge groups at the same time every month. So I say, hey, you got to be signed up by this Sunday. I have 8 spots. It's first come, first serve. And then I'm going to ask them simple questions. And I'm going to say, if I give you a spot, not if you'll, sign up with me, the ball's in my court here. They have to earn a spot to be in my group, because I want to make sure that the people that are in my group are going to add to the awesome vibe that I have going on in my challenge groups, that they're going to be an encourager, that they're going to be a part of the awesome energy that's already going on. So I ask them a quite simple question. If I give you a spot in my group, do you promise to show up and encourage the other women like I've already asked them to encourage you? You can use your own words here, but just ask them a question. If I give you a spot, will you do X, Y, Z? And set a simple expectation for them. If they say yes, they've done the right thing to start earning a spot. Be confident, because you guys want to be protective about the energy that you bring into the group, because when you have shared energy, energy is contagious. Good energy is contagious, and bad energy is contagious. I've had a couple people with really bad energy, and they end up coming out of my challenge group. I support them and I help them through one challenge group, and then they're out because they just bring down the rest of the people. And I have to look at my groups as a whole as what's in the best interest for the largest number of people. How can I help the largest number of people? And if someone's coming in with just a bad attitude, bitching and complaining about everything, talking nasty about Shakeology and how the programs don't work, and never encouraging anyone, and just has this bad energy, I don't want that into my group. So I try to keep it out from the get-go. And I tell them, here's the expectation I have of you. Can you meet that expectation? Yes or no? So here's an example of, and I get, this is the number one message that I get from people. It's not, can you give me more information about your challenge group? It's from coaches. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, please write down this tiny URL. Do not message me and ask me for this list of questions, because this is the list of questions that will help you kind of interview people and peel back the layers. It's tinyurl.com/challenge interview questions. You guys can take a screenshot of this, tinyurl.com/challenge interview questions. So that's just the list of questions that I go down and I ask people as I'm peeling back layers, especially if they come to me and they say, hey, I saw you post, your 30-day transformation. Can you give me more information about this Me First movement that you keep talking about on social media? So that's the questions that I ask them in that peeling back the layers process. But at the end, I'm gonna, this is the message that I send to them to get them, or to give them the final information. You can say something like, Jennifer, I love your story. I really wanna be able to help you lose that last 15 pounds of baby weight so you can rock those summer dresses on your vacation with the hubby. So I'm just repeating, I say her name, I'm repeating back to her what her goals are and reminding her to get excited about what she's gonna look like in those summer dresses when she goes on vacation with her hubby. I've decided after a chat that I'd like to offer you one of the spots in my challenge group. I only have 3 spots, so I'll need you to review the details and confirm back with me right away in order to hold this spot for you, as they are on a first come, first serve basis, and they fill up quickly. Based off your desired results, I recommend you try blah, 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 blah. Now, before, I would have recommended a very specific challenge pack to them. Now, we have the creme de la creme of all challenge packs, which is the All Access Challenge Pack. So I don't usually make a recommendation anymore. I only talk about the All Access Challenge Pack. Now, I've had people come back to me and they say, I don't really want that. I just want one program. And then I'll help them. Like I just had a girl buy the Core de Force Challenge Pack yesterday, I think. So, I helped her enroll with that challenge pack because that's what she specifically wanted. But you guys can say, and then you can share like a success story here, but I don't even really like to do that anymore. I'm going to tell you guys something that I've started doing that's working even better for me. But what I do is after I give them that little bit of information, I repeat back to them to their goals. I let them know there's limited number of spots and they have earned a spot with me. And then I make the recommendation of what I think is going to help them the most. And then you might even share a story to get them excited about someone else's results. So this one I shared, like, check out Danielle's results. She lost 13.5 inches after 3 weeks after she had her last baby, right? So I shared with her, actually one of my coaches had used 21 Day Fix to get back into shape after she had had her last baby. If it's a potential coach, you can either send them a video, get them on a call, or invite them into a sneak peek. Don't be afraid to get on the phone with people. Remember, ask questions. You guys are asking questions to stay in control of the conversation. Confidence comes from you not caring if they say yes or no, by the way. If you're detached from the outcome, then you don't care if they say yes or no, and that breeds a tremendous amount of confidence. And never beg or try to convince people. They need you, not the other way around, right? Because you don't need them, because your success is not in one person's hands. One person never controls your success, you do, right? I'm actually gonna skip this one because I already gave you guys that list of interview questions. But I want you guys, this is the money maker for me. This is like the new resource that I created for myself that I'm so excited about because it has saved me so much time. Number one, I assume the yes. I assume that they're going to want to join me. So I use that assumptive language and I say, when you join me, yada, yada, yada. So I send that message, I make the recommendation, and then I send them a video. The video that I send for a challenger is what's a challenge group and how much does it cost. So this is what I talk about. If you guys get squirmy around costs, you guys can take the video that I made and go remake it with your own voice. Please do not use my video because it has my story in there. You guys want your own story. It will not translate the same for you if you share my story as if you do share your own. So just make a video. And in this video, if you guys go to youtube.com/MissFitRepublic and use the little search bar and type in what is a challenge group and what does it cost, you guys will see my video. This is what I sent to them. In the beginning of my video, I share my story, my personal story about burnout. I explain to them what I was about. Sorry, Suri's listening to me. Damn it, sorry. Okay, I share my story, I talk about burnout, I talk about like what was I going to lose if I didn't do something to fix my personal burnout issue, and then I explain the value of the All Access Challenge Pack. Now, when I first heard about the All Access Challenge Pack, I could not believe the sheer amount of value that they put into one challenge pack. every single Beachbody program ever made. So what I did is I created a little visual, and you guys can take a screenshot of the visual that I made from the video. You guys can use that. I don't care. Please do not send me a message and ask me for that, because I don't want to send thousands of people the same slide, but just take the screenshot from the video. And what it does is it shows them on the left-hand side everything they get in the All Access Challenge Pack and what they would pay if they bought that separately. And then on the right-hand side, it's like, and it's all wrapped into one pretty little package with one pretty little price, right? So it just shows them like, holy crap, you get all this, 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 and this, and all the new 2017 programs that haven't even launched yet, and you get it all for this little price. And when I say like how much they get, like I talk to them in this video, like I'm sitting there talking to them. I'm like, I know you guys, I know how much value you're getting. I can't even believe how cheap this is, like, because I truly believe that. So in this video where I'm not necessarily talking to one person and I'm not afraid in the moment of like, are they gonna think that this is too expensive? In the video, I'm just creating with like my belief and my passion, and they can hear my voice, they can see everything that they're getting on the slide, and they can hear the passion and belief in my voice, and like how much value they're truly getting from one teeny little challenge pack, and telling them that they're gonna get 12 months of support from me is like mind-blowing. Almost every time I get people coming back to me saying, holy crap, that is an amazing deal. Whether they sign up in that moment or not, some people say like, dude, I'm gonna do this, I need 30 days. Can you give me 30 days? Yes, sister, I got you. I got you on my VIP list. I'll check up with you on this date. That cool? Like, I don't care if people sign up with me in that very moment. Like, I'm not one of that person that I'm not one of those people that try to strong arm people and try to like overturn every single objection and try to get them sign up in that moment. Right? I want them to know like, yes, of course, let's make a plan. We're gonna make this plan together. Right now, I'm gonna follow up with you on this date. And then when you follow that date, it's not weird. You know, sometimes we think of those follow-ups as like, are they gonna think that we're begging them or bothering them? If you guys set the follow-up date when you're having that initial conversation, they don't feel bothered. They expect that you're gonna follow up with them because they already told you could. Right? So it's not weird. So if you guys go take that video and you go remake it yourself, then you guys have this awesome little tool that you can just send to them, and you can say, look, take a few minutes, watch this video. Again, let them know, hey, 2 of my spots are already gone. Registration date closes on this date, first come, first served basis. You know, can you watch this video by 8 o'clock? Yes or no? So you set your follow-up time, and then you follow up at 8 o'clock and you say, what was the favorite part of about what you heard? And then you assume that they want to sign up, and you walk them through enrollment right then, right? The same thing with a coach. I have a little video, and if you guys go to youtube.com/MissFairyRepublic and just search how to sign up as a coach, I'm actually going to edit this because in this video, it doesn't talk about the All Access Challenge Pack because I haven't had a chance to remake this video yet. But before, I was talking to them about the, oh shoot, what's the name of the challenge pack? It's like the ultimate challenge pack where they get 3 programs plus like some Beachbody tools. And it was like a $300 challenge pack. I think maybe in this new video, I'll be like, this is what you used to get for $300, and this is what you get now for only $200, and you get every Beachbody program ever made, not just 3. So I might show them like how much it has changed. That'll kind of show them like what an incredible deal that they're getting. They're getting way more for less money. But I would usually sell like once a month one of those big $300 challenge packs just by sending them my video. I didn't have to send that person a message and be like, P.S. you should check out this challenge pack, because sometimes in the moment when you're talking to someone, you might feel squirmy on price because you're having to tell it to that person right there. But if you just use your video over and over and over and over, I've used that video like hundreds of times. I've sent it to people, and it explains to them, it shows them exactly how to sign up, and it shows them how to select their challenge pack, right? So you can create 2 resources, how to sign up as a coach, how to sign up as a challenger, and then remember, give them registration deadlines. They have to have that deadline. If you give them forever to think about it, they may think about it forever, right? But if you tell them you only have till Sunday to think about this, they'll think about it till Sunday. And then you have to go follow up with them on Sunday and say, P.S. haven't heard from you, just want to let you know registration closes today. You don't care if they say yes or no, but you're going to follow up with them and let them know, because they already said that they're interested. And of course they would want to sign up because you know that they need their help. So just last couple little notes for you guys, just to kind of reaffirm some of the most important things. Detach yourself from the outcome. You do not care if they say yes or no. Spend 80% of your time peeling back those layers and just asking questions. Remember, tinyurl.com/challenge interview questions. Print that out, keep it next to your computer while you work, and you will never not know what question to ask next when it comes to interviewing a potential challenger. On average, every 1 out of 10 people are gonna say yes. So if you're like no one signing up, but you get one person, you're actually doing really well if it's 1 out of 10. If you've only talked to one person, you gotta go talk to 9 more before you can truly say how well you're doing. If you're still getting all no's, basically, I want you to come back and rewatch this video. It's just about, taking one type of concept and doing it over and over and over and over until you get really good at it, right? Because you'll come back to this video and you're gonna be like, I know what I missed, right? You'll be able to kind of diagnose where the problem is in your business. Always work from a list. I know everybody always asks the question of like, do you track electronically? Some people use Streak, some people use pen and paper, some people use Asana. I'll tell you guys what I like to do, because I like to make my business a game, because when things are a game and when things are fun, you want to do it more. You don't resist it, right? So what I do is when I'm having conversations with people, I write their name on a little piece of paper with an open circle. And then every single conversation I look at, I go look and see who still has an open circle. And then I get excited about filling in the circle. I don't know why that's so entertaining for me, but it highly motivates me to want to get that circle filled in. So I'm gonna go back and follow up with them if they have an open circle. Now that's only for like the current challenge group of the people that I'm talking to, but I do make sure to store the information of people that I'm talking to digitally, just because you guys never know. Like if you lose your notebook, then you guys are SOL, right? You have to scroll back through 80,000 Facebook messages, and that's just no way to run a business. But when I'm having conversations for like 7 to 10 days of inviting to my challenge group, all those people go on one piece of paper, and then I keep talking to them, and I try to fill in as many circles as I can, and it's a fun game for me. It's very, very satisfying to get those circles filled in. That motivates me. You guys just have to decide what motivates you, what gets you excited, what makes it play, what makes it fun, what makes it exciting, in order for you. Everybody's different. There's no one right answer. If you asked 30 top coaches, I bet you they will all give you a different answer. It does not matter what you do. It just matters that you keep up with it and that you'll use your process. The fortunes and the follow-up, like I told you guys, remember, just set the follow-up when you're having that conversation. Then you don't feel weird about, hello, knock, knock on their door. Like, are you still there? Are you still my friend? You don't have to worry about like, if they're going to be, if they're going to feel weird about you following up, or if you're going to be bothering them, because you already set that expectation and they know that you're going to follow up. So then it's not weird for anyone. Offering something of value for free. So you guys could offer a free meal plan. What I did was I hired someone to create 21 days of like a fitness journal checklist that aligns with the container system. So I just went onto Upwork, and I hired someone. You guys could go to Etsy and just hire them to create like a fun little checklist, or you can make it on your own if you're good at stuff like that. Just don't spend too much time on that to where you don't actually invite people, because then you have nobody to give your free gift to. So you could say like, P.S. if you sign up by Sunday, you get this awesome little fitness tracker. It's like this free digital download, right? You can give that to as many people as you want. It doesn't cost you any money, except for maybe if you pay a designer to make it. I would say you could easily get something like that done for like less than $100, and you can use it over and over and over and over with 1 million people, right? And then, or if you don't want to do that, then you could do just a simple like clean eating meal plan. We have tons of like, I bet you guys, if you just Googled like free clean eating meal plan, you'll have like 7,000 of them pop up. Like you just grab something, create it on your own template, use it for inspiration, and send someone a digital Google Doc. And if someone comes to me and they're not ready to sign up, I'll give them a meal plan, and I'll say, hey, why don't you do this meal plan for now? And then next month, you'll be ready for my group. You'll sign up for it, but at least we don't have to wait 30 days for you to start feeling better. I want to help you now. You just create awesome additional relationship and rapport with that person, because you're willing to help them even before they have given you money. That does not mean that all you ever do to help people is just send them free clean eating meal plans. Because I do know some people, they're like, well, I'm helping 6 people right now, but they don't have 1 Success Club point on the board. So I asked them, like, are you really helping them? Because if you're not a nutritionist and if you're not a personal trainer, you're not actually qualified to be creating like custom meal plans for people and telling them like how to, be a nutritionist. You guys can actually get in big trouble if you try to give people specific advice on their nutrition and you do not have a background and a degree in nutrition, right? So you don't want to do that. But if you have like a free resource of like, hey, this is what I do, this is what works for me, I'm happy for you to, duplicate this process in a way that works for you until we can actually start working together in the group in 30 days. You give them a little something for free right now that builds rapport. And remember, never cross someone off your list. When people say no, it generally means not right now. And if it takes them 3 years to come back to you, that is okay, because you're not a quitter and you're still going to be here 3 years from now. I just want to say one last thing, and that is Beachbody has just gotten started. You guys are in the right place at the right time. There is no other company right now that offers nutrition, fitness, support, and still has so much room for growth in the world. We are going to go international into another country this year. I don't know when or where, but this year we're going to open up into new territory. We're in the US, we're in Canada, we're going to go somewhere else soon, and Beachbody is not going to stop until we have, until we're in every single country. So if you guys think about the growth potential of the company that you're already in right now, you guys know that 5 years from now, you're still going to be here when those people are ready. So if it takes 30 days or, a year or 2, it doesn't matter, right? Never cross someone off your list, because Beachbody is only going to continue to expand and is a company that you guys can rely on and create a tremendous amount of faith in. And that's all I have. You're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Oh my goodness. Mind blowing. I was going to go through and like recap like all the highlight things that you said. I mean, my whole body was going, yes, yes. I'm glad people couldn't see me because it was probably really distracting, but I just so agree with everything you said. And I just want to point out a few things. The fact that, let me go back to my notes here. So many notes, so many good things. But like, for example, it's expressing empathy. You guys, this is so key. Like just, the very first thing you do is say, I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally get it. Those words that Andrea used as an example, that goes so far, and using smiley faces and just showing the empathy, showing that you care, because people don't care what you know until they know you care. So many people get so caught up on being the expert and being the guru, and what if I say something wrong? People don't care what you know until they know you care. That makes such a difference to them. So building that bridge and being relatable, and the fact that you said, facts tell, but stories sell. I mean, you guys have to share your own experiences. People know that there's the scientific facts behind Shakeology, and some people want to know those things, but there's a whole lot of people that they just want to know, what has it done for you and how does that relate to me? That's what they really want to know. How does what it's done for you relate back to me? And the fact that you have to detach yourself from the outcome. People don't care. You have to not care if they say yes or no. That was huge, Andrea. And that shows confidence. Like, no one person can affect my success in this business. If they don't want to do this, it's because of some other previous experience they've had, or something that a loved one said to them about this business, or whatever. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with this business. It has nothing to do with reality. So I'm not going to cross them off the list, because their view of whatever made them say that at that time may change. And that's the other thing, is the fortunes in the follow-up. I go back to people all the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this new information. We're about to go international. Have you given this business any more thought? And so we get back into conversation. We always have new information where we can do a follow-up and say, look, I have new information, or I'm super excited about a new program that's launching or product that's launching. Have you given this business any more consideration? And the fact that you shared those resources for us, you guys, I hope that you took screenshots of that and got all that down. We were on that slide for plenty long enough for you to get all that information. So thank you so much, Andrea. You shared gold with us. Gold. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. I know everyone is going to be raving about this training. We'll use it for a long time. And just you guys, just so you know, next week, Meg Wazinski is going to be talking to us about becoming that expert in something and really just getting your inbox to flood and being able to help more people. So Andrea, thank you again.
My pleasure.
Such a pleasure to have you on the call again. Thanks everyone for getting on and staying on, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.